Everyone. I can remember pretty clearly. It's a story from Saint Teresa's Story of a Soul, and she shares a story. I think it was a piece of cake, like a couple pieces of cake, and her and her sisters she had cut, and she had to make the decision between whether she was going to take the little one for herself or the big one that she had cut out. And she knew what she had to do. She knew she had to just a small sacrifice. So she gave the bigger piece to one of her sisters instead and took the smaller piece herself. And and then I remember reading that, and then like a few weeks later, a very similar situation. I think it was like some sort of gathering, some sort of either. I don't think it was family. I think it was with some other seminarians and maybe priest. And I think there was pie involved, and so I had given out pie to all the guys that were gathered, and then I had two pieces left, one significantly larger than the other one, and I had to make a decision. Was I going to give the larger one to the one remaining person and then take the smaller one for myself? Well, I failed. I took the bigger piece for myself and gave the smaller piece to the other individual there. And in some ways that could be, actually not in some ways, that was in many ways very discouraging to me. But then at the same time, it was a reminder of just how hard it is for us to often get outside of ourselves, to pick up the small crosses in our life. Because usually it's an even bigger thing than just, a couple of pieces of cake or pie or whatever it is. But sometimes in order for us to do what is good for another, it does require a lot of significant sacrifice. Parents do it all the time. Parents have got to give up a lot of their time, a lot of probably what they want to do in order to provide for their needs of their children. They would probably maybe like to, just be able to stay at home and, watch a series on Netflix. But then oftentimes parents have to bring their kids to sports, CCD, band, whatever it is. And then, in other ways too, we just have always got to be aware of that. And I think that's always a challenge in the gospel where the Lord says, take up your cross and follow me. Because it's not an easy thing. If it was, well, let's just say that Christianity probably would be much more successful right now if that was an easy thing. And so I think it is important for us to really dig deep and really learn to give of ourselves, to really learn how to make those small sacrifices in our everyday lives, because that's really where the battle is won and lost, and really where the training ground for those more heroic moments whenever we're asked to give more than what we normally would be able to give. And so that is a challenge that I am giving to myself right now. So I probably need to hear this myself. But then it's also a challenge that I give to each and every one of you. Figure out those little ways in which you can self-sacrifice, in which you can give yourself more completely for others, to do the little things, to give up that bigger piece of cake and take the smaller one yourself. Whatever it may be, just remember to try and always, always, always take up your cross and follow him.